Back up. So we already have some blue right here in the top. So I'm going to go ahead and use that blue that's already right there, and I'm going to add a little yellow to it. And now what color do I have? Green. Okay. So I'm just going to use what I've already got ready. I'll check it on my test paper. It's an alright green. It's not bad. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and I'll just pick a few feathers in here. Maybe I'll come down here and do part of the tail. I'm going to do that center part of the tail. That green right there.
Wait, do you want us to color the same feathers that you want?
Yep, follow along on this part. Then I'm going to come down here and paint the one right here green as well. That was a good question. I should have clarified that. Thank you. Yep, just follow along. Green right there. And while I have some of that light green, I think I'll jump up here to the top, and these first 4 feathers right here, I'll make them all light green as well, so I can use a little more of that paint. And I might come back and revisit it and need some more later, but for now, that's enough. I'm going to just leave my green up there, so if I decide I want some more later, I have it handy. I'm going to take a little more blue. Mix it up right here. This time I'm going to add red to it. To get kind of a purple color. Just check it on my test paper. That's a really nice purple. Actually, it's quite pretty. Go ahead and use that. So with that purple color, I'm going to come right here and do this other tail feather, this big one. Then I'm going to do the other big one, but I am not going to do this one down here purple. I'm going to actually do that one on a light blue. For my light blue, of course, I'm just going to get a little bit of paint up here, get a little water in it, so it's not too dark. I'm just going to make this last little tail feather light blue. And I don't know if that's showing up. I'll move this so you can see what I'm doing. Make that last one light blue right there. And while I have a little light blue to work with, I'm going to make this next row of feathers on the wing light blue below this green. And part of the reason I do that is because green and blue together, they go well and they stand out from each other really well. Who needs more time to finish those feathers that we've painted so far? I don't see any hands going up. So here's how we make it darker. We got a nice purple up here, but let's say I want a darker purple. We come up and we get our blue. I don't have very much water this time. That blue is just a little bit of water in my tray. It's almost sticky, but not quite. Quite a bit of blue on my brush. And then I'm going to come in here and mix it with the purple that I already have. I'm going to rinse my brush out really good, and I'm going to dry it out just a little. I want just a little bit of water in it. And I'm coming to my red, which is also really thick right now. And I'm going to add more red. I'm going to mix it really well. It's not quite the purple color I want. I'll show you what I'm getting right now. I'm getting a color like this. It's not quite what I want. I want it a little bit darker, and I'm going to get just a little bit more blue to get there. So, to go darker, you need a little less water, and then usually the color that's the darker of the two, in this case blue is a little darker than red. I'm going to mix a little bit more blue in here. Now when I paint that on, it should be a different color. It's more of a bluish purple right here, and very dark. So I'm going to use that color to come in right here and paint this lower part right here. Below the eye. I'm going to use it to paint this little patch right here. I'll pause for a second while you guys get caught up. So if yours is really good and dark, like this, that's what I want. I want it really dark. Then I'm going to also use this to paint the eye itself. I'm going to come right here on the eye. I'll zoom in on that. And I'm going to make sure I don't paint that little white part. I'll be a little bit careful with that. You want to keep that little teeny shiny spot right there. So when you finish, that turns out to be a pretty good looking eye, like that. Now I should have been thinking, I should have come through here and painted this area light first and then done this dark part, so I'm actually doing something that I should not have. Always go light to dark, but I got a little excited to get that eye on there. And so now I'm going to pay the price when I come in here to try to do this area, but we'll just have to be extra careful is all. I'm also going to be a little bit smart about it. That I'll come in here and do this kind of a light blue with maybe a little purple in it. That way, if it does bleed out a little bit, it kind of looks like it's all right. But I got to wait for that to dry more before I can do anything with it. While I have that darker purple, I'm going to come down right here on the edge of this big tail feather down here. just going to go around the right edge of it. Just like that. Do it on the other one. It just gives it a little more definition. It looks kind of nice. So I'm going to do that same thing with my green. I'm going to get a little darker green. I've got this mixed up already. So I'm going to add just a little blue to it. When you add yellow, it will lighten it up quite a bit. So we're not going to use very much water in our yellow. And then I'll come in and add a little bit more blue and we'll get a darker green. So right now I do this. It's fairly dark green right there, but I want it just a little bit darker. Just a touch more blue. I definitely have a darker green. So if I look at my test paper and I put this over that green, you can see it's much darker, just like that. Now I'll use that to outline the right edge and bottom of my green feather right there. It just makes kind of a nice finished look on it. I'm going to come up here, my green feather's up here, and I'm going to go around the bottom edge of it. Just around this edge, then up the right, bottom edge, up the right. Maybe just a little bit right there. Okay, just try and give it a little bit more definition so one stands out from the other. Now the nice thing is on the blue we just paint right out. We just use what we have in our tray. Let's bring this up here. Just got to make sure it's darker than what I've already got on there, but not, I don't want to come straight out of the tray. I don't want to come straight out of here. This is too dark. This is too dark right here, so I'm getting it just a little lighter with just a little bit of water. Check it against my light blue that I have on here. See, it's darker. I'll just go along that edge on this one. Oh no, got into my green. Oh well. And I'll come down here on this bottom edge here. Do the same thing with my tail feather down there. So I've outlined all my feathers just a little bit. Just enough to give them just a little bit more definition. So when you're doing this, you have to plan ahead a little bit. You're like, okay, I got my light stuff on there, and then your dark. You got to kind of be planning ahead a little bit in your head. I'm just trying to show you that technique. So as you go through this, in a minute here, I'm going to turn you loose and let you come up with your own color schemes on this. But remember to get all your lights on there and then go do your darks. So right now I'm going to come in here and hope that I don't mess this all up. But I'm going to take a little bit of water and go along the chest right here. This is just water all I'm putting on here. Just so it's soft and wet, just right in here. Then I'm going to take a little bit of my light blue and come along the edges in here and bring it right down into that water. Like I said, I got to be really close when I get to that dark that I already put on there, so it doesn't bleed one color into the other. And it might, I hope not. careful through here. Sometimes you can get away with it. Sometimes you don't get away with it at all. All right, so I got my light blue just fading into the chest where I put the water on there. And that's what I want, just have a nice light blue fade in. I'll come back later and give this more definition with some darker blue to separate it from the sky. But for now, it's fine. Give you just a second to get that done, and then we're going to go from here up and put a color in. I'll show you how to do that. Hopefully it works out. So the next color I want to make is orange. So I'm going to come in here, get some clean water, get my yellow good and wet. Right now it's pretty dry. Haven't used it much. Notice I just keep stirring and stirring. I'm just trying to get the paint mixed up into the water so that I have plenty of yellow. I'll bring that down here in this little tray so it's separated. I don't want it getting into that. Rinsing it out. Get a little bit of red. Mix that in there. As I stir it together, it turns into an orange. Don't ask to go to the bathroom, not right now. Okay. And if you test it, you can see kind of an orange going on there, about a little darker than a pumpkin would be. We're just going to leave that for now. I just needed to get it on there. I got that pre-mixed up. And here's where it's going to get a little fun here. I'm going to come in here now, and on this part of the body right here, I'm going to come along, and I'm going to just put some water down and bring it all the way up to where I ended with that blue. I'm staying out of these feathers. This is just the chest and lower body area. Just need to get that damp with water right now, and also on this leg right here. And then while that's damp, I'm going to get a little bit of yellow. I'm going to come from right here and pull that down this way a little bit. I got a pretty bright yellow going on. I'm going to rinse my brush out, thin it out a little bit, and let it just blend right into the blue that I had up here. Hopefully it's still wet enough that you can blend it right in. Then I'm going to take my orange right here and go right here. And I'll take that all the way down to the bottom here. Also this back leg here. I'll take a little bit of water on my brush and just blend that right up into the yellow. So it goes nice transition from orange to yellow. Want it to be kind of hard to tell where the orange starts and stops and the yellow starts and stops. Just hopefully they just blend right into each other. Now those little flecks, those little shapes in there, kind of those little diamond shapes, of course when you go to paint those, you'll choose a dark color to put on that so it will cancel out whatever light color is underneath it. Okay, well that's still a little bit wet, I'm going to mix up just a little bit of red right here, and I'm going to come right along this edge right here, and I'm going to put a little bit of red right here at the bottom coming up. I got to be careful to stay away from this back leg right here. I don't want this to bleed into that. I'm rinsing my brush out so I don't have any water because this is already really wet. And then just come along here and letting that red kind of blend into the yellow that I already put on there. So it gets really, not really dark, but it gets darker at the bottom near his legs and fades out. So he goes from red to orange to yellow to kind of a light green to blue is kind of the idea. Hopefully you can see that on there okay. I'm going to just take a little bit of the orange that I had from before. Now that this is a little drier, and I'm going to do this back leg, but it's more of an orange than a red right here. Just make it a little bit darker so it separates it from the other leg. Glares right on it. Okay, we're getting really close to the part where we kind of turn you loose. We've mixed most our colors now. We've mixed blue and yellow, we've mixed red and yellow, we've mixed blue and red. So we've got our purples, our oranges, our greens, our yellows. If you mix all three, you get kind of a brown. I don't know if you want to use that much on this painting because it's pretty vibrant colors. Brown's kind of a way toned down color. So here's the last thing I'm going to do on this, and that's why I brought this up close. I'm going to take just a little bit of water in my brush, not soaking wet, and I'm going to come down here in this lower part right here. Getting just a little bit of water here. Come around. I'm going to carefully go down underneath the eye with just a little bit of water and hope it doesn't bleed too much. Right above the eye. Then I'm going to go back to my purple that I had over here. And I'm going to come along the top edge and hope it doesn't make a huge mess. I'm coming along that top edge, getting a real nice defined edge right there. And then letting it bleed down into the water. And that's what I want it to do. And I'm just going to pull it right down into there. So it's more of that purple paint going right down in the water with a nice dark top of his head. So it's fading from dark purple to light purple. And hopefully yours looks something similar. It's kind of a nice transition. It's kind of pretty too. That looks pretty white on the screen, but actually in real life, it's purple right here. And also remember, this is our practice, so if things don't go perfectly well, it's not the end of the world. All right, so here's what you gotta do now. We got a good base started, we mixed all our colors, you kind of learned how to do that. Now I want you to go through and continue to mix. You know how to make them darker, you know how to make them lighter, add more water, add more paint to go darker, add more water to go lighter. I want you to go through and put a lot of variation as you put on these. I'm not going to show you anymore. I want your imagination to take over. The only thing I'm going to tell you is don't cover a huge area of these feathers with the same color and then a huge area. Go row by row, change it up each time. Or you can change every feather if you want, but don't cover a big area in this area. Just go row by row. Like where they're longer, you can go different colors coming through here, different colors, different colors. I don't want to come by and see, you know, like you made this whole tail orange or something. I want you to mix your colors, mix, 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 and then mix your lights and darks, okay? All right, now you guys have creative license to have at it and do what you need to do, and if you need help, just let me know.